let's go to the Cat Food Commission Part 2. Yesterday, Patty Murray, John Kerry, and Max Baucus were announced as the three selections by Harry Reid to the Cat Food Commission 2. That would be the Super Congress. Just before we came on the program today, House Speaker John Bonaire selected Republican Representatives Jeb Harnsling from Texas, Dave Camp from Michigan, and Fred Upton from Michigan to serve on that committee. John Kyle in the Senate, appointed by Mitch McConnell. Pat Toomey. Who was the third one? Crappa? What? No. What was it?
It's we got Toomey, Kyle, and Portman.
Portman, right? I'm sorry, Rob Portman. And look, the final analysis. The only thing that matters are those three senators from the Democratic side. People have mixed feelings on this. Patty Murray is probably the best pick from a progressive standpoint because Patty Murray, she chairs the the Senate re-election committee essentially, and so the desire for her to have a strong distinction between Democrats and Republicans on things like Medicare and Social Security is there. But I don't put it past any one of these three to capitulate. Max Baucus, sort of famous for diddle-daddling and not doing it. He's retiring. He may not want this to happen because of everybody says the parochialism involved in him being chair of the Finance Committee. Who knows? The one that scares me is Kerry. And I'll tell you why. Because John Kerry has a built-in excuse, talking point. We can't cut defense. I'm a defense guy. I was in the military. He has already come out. And here's the statement put out by the three of them, which makes me nervous. This is an important moment for our country. Millions of Americans are struggling in this tough economy, working overtime to pay the bills, find a job, and find a way forward for their families. They want this committee to force the federal government to make similar sacrifices without the red-hot partisanship and brinksmanship of the last months. What does this mean? You want the government to make sacrifices? What does that mean? Does that mean that senators and congressmen are going to take a pay cut? When the government sacrifices, but I don't know what that means. The government provides for the people. What do they do when they sacrifice? This is the same framing as families are tightening their belts, we've got to tighten our belt. When the government tightens its belt, or in other words, when the government stops spending, it contracts the economy. It hurts the economy. John Kerry is on record already talking about the idea of entitlement cuts, or what we refer to as social insurance cuts, as per our conversation with Chris Hayes yesterday. But let me read this quote from John Kerry that is supposedly Brian Beutler reports as being actually a positive. I mean, what we're being told by people is that this committee will never be able to come up with a deal because Democrats will insist upon revenues and Republicans will insist upon no tax increases. And I know I've said this almost every day since this deal has happened, but I'm going to keep saying it. Because I have seen no evidence to the contrary, and nobody's talking about this. And I'll try and bring it up on Radigan. I'll try and bring it up. I'm screaming it to the high heavens. On Meet the Press Sunday, he advocated for cuts and reforms to Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security, but acknowledged the need for, quote, is he going to say tax increases? Or is he going to say some revenue? And I repeat this over and over again. You know how you can get some revenue without any tax increases? You allow for the federal tax on corporations to go on holiday when they repatriate their profits from overseas. And sure enough, who was also reported to be on board with this? One of 4 or 5 senators that he reported was open to this idea. Matt Taibbi the other day, and I think we're going to try and talk to Taibbi tomorrow about this. Who was it? John Kerry. So it's clear John Kerry has gotten off his windsurf, his windsailor. What is those called? When you windsurf, what are those called? Windsurfer. He got off his windsurfer in August and has come back and is going to do the man's job. I should say the millionaire's job of cutting Social Security and Medicare.